your horror movie podcast.
How we doing? We all hyped up, boys?
I'm hyped up, boys.
Some might say a little too much. What's up?
Let's get it. Let's flip these pancakes.
Let's get it on.
Oh, yeah, you guys can hear that. What are you doing? Whoops.
Ghost, everyone's friend. I don't know. I had nothing. I'm probably going to delete that.
I was going to say, that was just embarrassing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Ghostface improves.
Are you guys tired of getting ghosted by
Oh.
your Tinder dates?
Yeah, are you guys tired of getting ghosted by energy and robbed of natural sources of life?
These will never ghost you, bro.
Oh, my God. All right, maybe not our best commercial. Maybe cut that out.
Absolutely horrible. All right, guys, welcome back, Hack Stab Slash. I'm Hacky. That's Stabby.
Just Justin.
One of these days, he's going to follow me right up. But this week, we're watching a brand new movie. It's named Cobweb. It came out in 2023. I believe this movie came out in like March, and it had to battle Oppenheimer. Do you guys remember that? So it suffered in the movie theater because the entire American civilization was all about Oppenheimer and forgot all about this movie, which is a fucking shame. But it is about an 8-year-old boy who tries to investigate the mysterious knocking sounds that are coming from inside his walls, unveiling a dark secret that his sinister parents have kept hidden from him his entire life. Whose pick is this? Why'd you pick it, Justin? Fill us in.
So I picked it, honestly, went in blind. Didn't even know if it was supposed to be good or not. I was just looking through things, and it looked really creepy. The name, obviously, Cobweb. I'm like, sounds kind of cool. I'm terrified of spiders, so I didn't know if there was a spider connection or not. I watched the trailer, and I actually thought it looked extremely creepy. Wasn't even 100% sure what the hell was going on. So I kind of just went into this blind and kind of just judged the book by its cover. And hey, that was cool. That sounds cool. So yeah, so I don't have like any awesome insight of. I didn't even know if people like this. I didn't even read if other people like this. So this is I don't know. I just went in. I said, let's do this. Cobweb. Let's go.
Waterboy, what'd you think about this movie? Had you seen it before?
I had never seen it before. I had only seen the trailer, and just like Justin, I was confused. I wasn't sure what was going on. And when we get into it, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
for a good while.
Right.
But I thoroughly we'll just wait on that. I'll say what I thought.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had no idea this movie even existed. And like I said at the end of last episode, when I was finishing up my notes for Totally Killer, my cousin Andy had recommended it and said, like, you guys got to watch this. Like, you should probably do it on the show. It's definitely a movie for sure. And then, like, not even 20 minutes later, Justin texted and was like, I'm doing Cobweb.
It was meant to be.
And I was like, all right, looks like it's making the podcast.
All right.
Whoop.
All right, you guys ready to spin this web?
Let's go. Let's do this. Let's get tangled up.
Right. So our opening credits seem to follow Peter, who's our main character in this movie. It seems to follow Peter on his everyday routine from start to finish. He awakens now at 1:45 in the morning to a scratching noise as he sprints to the other side of his room to turn on the lights. He looks out his window and he realizes he still doesn't have a backyard to play in, and instead just has a giant pumpkin patch to swing over. He listens to his wall and he begins to tap on it. He's startled when something taps back. He tells his parents, who tend to chalk it up to, it's an old house. There's lots of creaks, lots of noises, and he's just got an overactive imagination. So Peter wakes up and we follow him on his everyday routine again as he gets on the school bus, and we very quickly realize that Peter's a bullied child as someone trips him and says he'll get more of that at recess. He's also antagonized by the same kid in the classroom. So he decides to skip recess, and instead, him and Miss Devine catch and release a spider. So Peter is back at home now. Justin, did that scene creep you out?
Oh, I hated that scene. As soon as I saw that scene, I'm like, oh God, like just that one scene, like, oh man, I gotta work on my arachnophobia, because that scene right there actually like legit scared me, and like, oh, yuck.
That's like the difference between me and a lot of people is like, I'm not scared of spiders, but I'm not going to put them on my hand and play with them. But I don't want to kill them. So like I can catch and put them outside and all that stuff, but they still freak me out.
Same. I don't kill spiders. I'm just weird and like a weirdo that like respects all these stupid life besides ticks. Fuck ticks. Sorry, I just got angry. But anyway, I always let spiders outside.
Not people with Tourette's. We're not talking about those. We're talking about the actual animal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So Peter sits down now at dinner, and he tells his parents that he wants to dress up and actually go out for Halloween this year. His father gets a little pissed off. So he starts to tell him a story about a little girl who vanished on Halloween, and that's why they won't let him go trick-or-treating. Peter is now in his bedroom, and he's just staring at the wall. He's got a flashlight pointed at it. He then falls asleep, but the wall kind of begins to move. It almost swells. Kind of gives me that Freddy Krueger, when he presses his face. Kind of gave me that
Yep.
vibe.
Yep.
He now hears a girl whispering his name. And Peter and she says, Peter, don't tell him, because then the dad rushes into the room to check on Peter. The dad hears nothing, and he bets it was just, probably rats in the wall. To most people, this would sound insane, but where we live out in the country, I don't know about you guys, but you tend to get field mice, and you can hear them fuckers at night in the middle of winter sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning, the dad brings Peter out to the shed, and they get rat poisoning. And as they're spreading it along the walls, Peter feels incredibly bad about trying to kill the rats, but he also says, Dad, this smells like cinnamon. But his dad reassures him that it's for the better, and they can't have these rodents in the house. Peter's now back at school as Miss Devine is reading a book to the class. We quickly see, while she's looking at paintings, there's one that Peter made that says, help me. So she gets a little paranoid, and she decides to pay Peter's mom a visit at their house. The mom does an incredibly poor job of trying to sell Peter as having an overactive imagination. She shuts the door, and then she goes upstairs and immediately starts grilling Peter about this painting. At this point in the movie, you can tell there's something not right with his parents. Peter tries to go to sleep and is awoken by the girl in the wall telling Peter she just wants to talk, and she offers to be his friend. But if he doesn't want anything at all, she'll just leave. And Peter, being the lonely kid he is, asks her to stay. Peter's now crushing pumpkin painting as he turns his pumpkin into a silly-faced one named Hector. He's ambushed by the jealous bully who shoves him to the ground at recess. And Mercer, wow, I'm murdering that name.
Mercer?
Mercilessly. Yeah.
Thought someone got Mercer.
Begins stomping Hector into pumpkin pie. Peter and the girl in the wall have a conversation about Brian, the bully. She convinces him, you need to stand up to this bully. And we see the very next day, something must have happened where the teacher saw what was going on at recess, because Brian now shamefully brings in a pumpkin that looks a little bit like a knockoff Hector, and he apologizes and gives the pumpkin to Peter. Peter now hears the little girl in his head as these kids are walking in the hallway, telling him to fight back, to make Brian afraid of him, to push back. So he pushes Brian down the stairs, and Brian lets out a fucking scream. Yes. And it's very clear now that Brian has broken his legs at the bottom of these stairs. He gets expelled from school for this. And once he's home, his parents go absolutely nuts on Peter about school, the picture, his imagination, just everything that's been transpiring around him. They decide to ground him. But this time, instead of sending him to his bedroom, they lock his ass in the basement. And the basement's located behind a door that's blocked by their refrigerator, so it can't be seen by someone that comes into the house. They say it's because they love him, and then just put him in the basement. It's fucking cruel. Peter lets out a soft cry, looking for the little girl on the walls to please talk to him so he's not alone down there. Miss Devine is now back at school, and she's being drilled by another teacher who might be the principal. I'm not sure. About not getting attached to a child. And then he mentions that, Peter's parents are just overprotective because of a girl in that neighborhood who went missing. And then we cut back to Peter, who sees a hole in the basement. And as he moves things away to look into this hole, it seems like it's a dungeon, ? And it's got like a grate over it. But at the very bottom of it, it looks like a stuffed animal and maybe like a blankie type looking thing. So clearly it was a hole for a child. Miss Devine is rapidly Googling the kid at school. The mother looks disturbed back at home while she's doing laundry. Miss Devine is grading papers, and we see her writing something at the top of the papers. Miss Devine then shows up at the house as the mom hears the doorbell ring, and she simply says, I'm here to deliver Peter's last math quiz. I thought you'd might like to have it. He only missed 2. She hands the mother the math quiz because she's there to deliver it and not mail, because that's Waterboy's job, and no one takes Waterboy's job from Waterboy.
Nobody.
What do we think about these opening scenes?
So This movie, I had no freaking clue what was going on. My brain went to so many different ways of like what this movie could possibly be like, and it still isn't sure yet. These parents are creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Um, even before like anything happened, that you knew something was like up with these freaking parents. Just the way that they were talking to the kid and like
They almost
everything.
come off like fake.
Oh,
Exactly, like they're
yeah.
yeah. I thought honestly, I thought like something was controlling. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
and I got to give a shout out for Homelander from The Boys. You guys have seen that show. Um,
He crushes it in Homelander. He gives off such
Amazing.
just an unstable feeling.
Yeah,
Portrayed very
incredible.
well in this.
Uh, yeah, the sound, the people who were responsible for all the sound design in this, awesome. It gives you the perfect creep factor. That little girl's voice in the wall. Jesus, all
Ugh.
right. Uh,
Someone said my name? Dude, don't do that. No, that's crazy. I don't know. All I heard is my name. Don't do that. Not funny, man. But yeah, so I literally just wrote some scribbly notes. I wrote creepy. Okay. Sound was actually really awesome. They built suspense incredible. The pumpkin imagery in the field, awesome. Holy crap, this poor kid. Spider on the desk. Hell no, don't like that at all. Wow, this dad sucks. Terrible vibes. Okay, wow, this mom really sucks. And then I wrote, what is happening? What are the parents hiding? What the hell is actually happening? Also, turn on a light in your house. Holy hell. Face in the wall, super creepy. Dream sequence, terrifying. But just yeah, I just like I thought they built awesome suspense. Like I was completely sucked in because, like you said, you have no clue what's going on. Parents are terrible, but same thing. You're trying to figure out like, all right, like I don't know. It's too early even in the movie to decide if you love it or hate it. But I think it did a great job in just gripping you and trying because, like you said, you have really no clue what the hell is going on. Solid 30 minutes so far. Thumbs up.
Ew,
Take it
yeah.
away, Waterboy.
All right, all right. So I'm gonna pick it up, right? So Carol answers the door, and then Mark joins the show, and oh boy, is the creep factor going up to 11 now with how Mark is acting towards that teacher. Is he gonna ask her out to dinner or bludgeon her with that hammer? I wasn't too sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Honestly, what is up with these two? Giving her a nice cup of blood coffee because he had a nail that had
Blood
cut him
coffee.
cut him from his arm. Miss Devine asked about what Mark's going to do about school.
They're gonna
All right,
homeschool him.
yeah, that he will have school at home. Carol going crazy about why she is so interested in her son. Peter hears their conversation and goes up the stairs and starts kicking at the door. And Miss Devine does notice the sound, but is asking to leave. And with the washer off and her hearing the sound, again, Mark leads her out with a hammer in hand, with with possible hammer time coming. He lets her know that it's the
Hammer
washing
time.
machine,
Oh, sorry.
and she leaves knowing something's up. Creepy mama coming down the stairs with some pumpkin cupcakes. Can we forget about the locked behind the fridge in the basement thing now? Are we cool? Peter now back in his room for a good night's sleep, asking the wall to talk to him, but we know we shouldn't say that after the last movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, definitely don't have someone talk to me. They might run away.
yeah.
You know, God forbid you have to pee.
Oh God. Right.
This fucking guy.
It was yeah. I'm well hydrated.
Okay.
Thank you for
Perfect.
caring.
I told Waterboy I'm gonna clip together everything from the last season and this season. If you just and it's always when Waterboy's like halfway through his segment, you just get up and run away.
And we're just gonna play that song.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like that stupid like Benny Hill theme or something. And just
Yeah.
me just always standing up. Oh my god. That's too good. That's too good.
Peter now back in his room for a good night's sleep, asking the wall to talk to him, but we know we shouldn't say that after the last movie. The girl in the wall tells him his parents are not who they seem. Peter wants to sneak a peek and peels back the wallpaper. Fuck that. Turns out
No,
turns out that turns out that it's his sister. He's big enough to move the clocks now to show the door and release her from the walls, from the dark. Going back to bed, Peter's door randomly slowly opens with an image of his mom walking across the hall, and then complete darkness. And then the sound of his dad in the corner being pretty fucking freaky. Look what you've done to your mother, Peter. switch to the hallway with Peter's mom start running towards him and then fade to pitch black and then running towards him and grabbing his head. How are you going to be 8 years old and this is the first time you've seen your mom do this? I would have made a better I would have made a better picture than just help me. Like, oh shit. He wakes up and it was all just a bad dream. Or was it? Back to Sister Wall, explaining how she got to where she was.
Sister Wall.
And how she got to where she was and saying they are going to get him too. And they already killed her. And she tells him to check out in the garden in the pumpkin patch. Peter digs up the remains and covers it up really fast before Carol can see. Peter gives a call to Miss Devine. And Carol noticed, and she also notices the hole in the wall and proceeds to freak out, asking him what she told him. Night falls, and she tells Peter that they know. They're going to kill them now. Peter proceeds to sit up on the stairs, listening in on their conversation, and they notice, running and acting asleep, but he already knows he's awake. There's a problem in the garden, and they got to take care of it tomorrow. Turns out just needed to bury some pumpkins from rot. Peter's little bully from school got his cousins to go scope out Peter's house. And now it's Halloween night. Nothing like some good soup. Looks horrible. Just like this transition.
I'm sorry. No, you were doing good. I'm sorry. I fucked that up. I'm so sorry. Do that again.
No. I'm leaving this in. That's the perfect transition.
That's what I said. Looks horrible. Like this transition.
All right, Justin, what's your thoughts on the set of scenes?
Oh, awesome set of scenes. That creepy thing when that I think I already said the dream sequence, but I forgot the dream sequence was in this. And when the dad was like in the corner batting his eyes, and it was still like
and you could
clock.
hear it.
It was like it made a clock sound, and that was terrifying. And once again, so now we're almost like an hour into this movie, and I still don't know 100% what's going on. So I
don't think anyone does.
Like, we don't know until like the last 15 fucking minutes.
Right? So I'm not gonna lie, like I'm still so invested in this movie. Like this director killed it with just making you guess. Like we're approaching the 60-minute mark, and I'm still like, what is happening? Like I still have no clue. You're still in your head trying to figure out, like piecing this together and trying to figure out like what is happening. Is this thing gonna get out of are we gonna like see what's going on? What are they hiding? So I wanted to still say like so far what a great job still of just building this suspense and mystery and just the intrigue. That's what I got.
All right, so this movie is such a slow burn. I got that it's almost boring. However, I do find myself wanting to pay attention. Is there a girl trapped in these walls? Is it really his sister behind the clock? She can't be alive, right? There's no way she's alive. If she is alive, how did she make the wall expand? How did she make the rug spin? The mother and father dream sequence was fucking nuts. The clock noises, like we just said, when the dad's blinking, it brings your heart rate up. The demonic mom just grabbing his head and him waking up to her actually having his head in her hands was pretty cool. I got this like weird vibe that the mom is a victim and maybe the dad's like the true psychopath. Also the neighbors, the kids that bullied him in the pumpkin patch. I'm just like, my notes are confusing. That's how confused I am with this. Like, is it the sister that's in the pumpkin patch? Is it the neighbor that's in the pumpkin patch? It's just, it gets weirder and weirder by the second. Is the dad like bringing Peter out back and making him dig his own grave? If that's the case, where the fuck did the skeleton go that was in that exact same spots like 30 seconds ago?
Fuck.
But I did really like that pumpkin that has like the stitching for a mouth in the eyes. I thought that was pretty cool. And then it feels like almost everything that's going on is in Peter's head. Like, did he create his own little world? I'm just so confused. And then I put down, I was like, did the bully's legs heal overnight? No way this kid's fucking walking around right now, let alone ever again. Because he's in the back of that van and he like pokes his head out and he's just completely fine. Like, I'm just so confused.
He didn't just have his femur sticking out. You know?
I have no idea what's going on right now. Everything's everywhere. Are the parents the psychopath? Like, who's really dead? Who's not dead? Is it a spirit? Is the house haunted? Like my brain is literally fucking
Right.
everywhere.
Oh
And I
my
love
god.
that so much. Like I love
It's
it's such a creepy slow burn. Like to this point, you seriously have no like. I just literally was just like, and I was almost nervous at this point. Like so, right before I take over, I was like getting scared because I'm like I'm so invested right now. Like I'm like, please, please stick this landing because
something.
this ending here because like this is building and building and building. I'm like, please freaking stick this. Yeah. So anyone any other thoughts before I take us home?
I just had to reiterate on all that. Like, I had no idea what was going on. This movie could have went so many different directions. Like Sean, you said, it was it all in his head? Is this all in imagination? Um, everything going on, the parents being
Yeah.
creepy. Are they the killers? Like, it gives you so many different ideas to even look towards, and it's just amazing how this movie does it. It is a slow burn. It is a little bit boring, but it makes you keep wanting to watch it because you want to know what the hell is really going on, and that's amazing that a movie can do that for you.
Yeah, dude, it's just it goes fucking everywhere. Because I think in this set of scenes we see the mom come out of the wall with a pitcher of water, right? And
Yeah.
Peter's out back in the pumpkin patch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Why does she need a pitcher of water? Why is she in the wall? What's behind that fucking clock? Like, are there random doors all over this house behind like furniture fixtures? It just my head is ready to explode. And
Oh
then
my
if it's
god.
not real, and that explains the wall swelling and the rug like spinning.
Yeah.
But if she is real, how the fuck did she do that?
All right, let's take us home, man. There's a lot to get. There's a lot of questions here, and I want some answers, and I think we all want some answers. So, all
We're
right,
gonna get him.
we're gonna get them. Let's take us home. So they're all sitting around the table, and they're all having some soup on Halloween, the most fun day of the year, and disgusting looking soup. I think did
Bro,
you mention
that's
that,
not
or did we
soup.
cut that?
That is not soup.
It's I was
That
gonna say
is like
whatever.
reheated oatmeal from 4 days ago.
And the mom and dad are going town on this stuff. They absolutely love it, and Peter hasn't touched this. And the dad actually says like, wait, did you like do something different with the soup? And she's
It's
just like,
delicious.
yeah. And like, she's like, no. And she's just keep eating and eating. And the dad's kind of goes, kind of tastes like cinnamon. And if we remember earlier, get which one of you maybe
The
was Sean
rat
talking about,
poison.
I would say the rat poison smelled like cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
So they're eating it, and all of a sudden they're still eating it. And then the dad realizes, like, wait a minute, like Peter, did you do something? And all of a sudden, he just screams out, like, you hurt my sister. And then the dad's like, call 911. He jumps up. He calls 911. Then the stomach pains. This dude starts, like, keeling over in just pain. And the mom runs over to grab the phone. The phone line is cut. And then this dad starts horrifically puking. And he's falling over. It reminded me of Trick or Treat, like when
I
that
had
kid
that in
was
my
eating that.
notes.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the grossest vomit scene I've seen since that. Like this dude is puking his brains out. And he falls over, and I'm assuming he's dead right there. And Peter starts running. Meanwhile, like the mom's like, "What did you do?" She grabs a butcher knife and she starts chasing him. He runs up the stairs now. The mom is running up the stairs after him, and she gets on the stairs, and all of a sudden she starts puking. She like grabs onto him, and he kicks her like right in the head as she falls down the stairs, and she's puking and looks like she is dying. As all this happens now, she's on the ground, looking like dead. The clock starts going off. Peter runs down to his mom. He tries to grab the key from her. It's attached to her. And of course, like I'm already bracing because I'm like, all right, it's like, what's she gonna do? And all of a sudden, the mom like grabs his arm. And it's like, don't let her out. Whatever you do, Peter, don't let her out. And still at this point, I am so confused because now like there's like 25 minutes left in the movie. Both parents are dead. He's getting keys. There's a clock going off. Like, what is going on? He runs over to the clock. He moves this clock and he unlocks this door. And oh my god, you see the creepiest eyes and like a smile, and I'm like, oh my god, it is real. And this creepiest laugh. Holy shit, that is so creepy. I did not expect that. Yes, terrifying. So he runs now to his room. He is at his room. This thing is at his door, and what a creepy voice! Like you hear, like, what was it like watching them die, Peter? And right when like now you're invested in this, all of a sudden the doorbell rings. We get Sean,
Trick or
duck
treat.
down, duck down for a second, Sean. If anyone is watching on YouTube, I know not everyone is, but we see behind Sean, if you can see this, these creepy guys in a pig mask, a cat mask, and a bunny mask.
I'm doing a horrible job.
Yeah, that was terrible, Sean. You're a little bigger of a guy, no shaming, but that's probably why you couldn't get that low.
Just like you're next.
Yeah, it's these creepy masks. All of a sudden, it's the cousin, and he's got 3 of his cousins with them. They got masks, they got hockey sticks, we got baseball bats. The imagery was absolutely incredible. And Peter, where are you? And all of a sudden, the door like swings open, and they go in there. Meanwhile, Peter's upstairs. He's under his bed because he's got this crazy thing that he's already dealing with. Now we got these masked people going in there, and we got one of the cousins in a pig mask, and he's got the baseball bat. He is smashing this piano. Holy crap. We see something on the wall behind him. This is the first time we've seen an image of this. The creepiest looking, I don't even know, almost like Samara from like the Ring or something. But her hair looks like just like 37.5-foot long hair. And he's finished smashing this piano and he turns around and all of a sudden you hear like the piano make a sound. And the hair is like thrown over the piano, and he's like, what the hell? So this dude's walking over there. We see 2 arms grab his legs, pull him under the piano, and this explosion of blood. This dude actually exploded. What is going on? Then we see the school kid, the kid that got picked on, he slips on blood and he actually falls down. He's on crutches at the scene, and he sees the dead mom's body like stuffed into like a little empty, I don't know, cabinet space or something. And then he hears something running like on the ceiling, and you see another one of his cousins running for his life in a rabbit mask, runs around the corner, but he gets grabbed. This dude gets tossed around. He's flying up in the doorway and just getting smashed into the ceiling, and then boom, this dude is gone. Like, what the hell is going on? And we look up now, and all of a sudden, for this kid, all of a sudden this thing is on the ceiling and the hair like falls in him, and you see him like look up, and just you hear him screaming as we cut away. So we see the other cousin looking for him like, Brian, and then we see this thing on a wall. This guy starts running for his life, and this thing just crawls over and absolutely destroys him. And we see it like slices this dude's head off with like a thing. We see his headless body fall into the hallway. Meanwhile, Peter is still under the bed, and he sees this. We get a quick cutaway scene of the teacher, Miss Devine. Now she is driving as fast as she can. She is headed towards his home. And then we get back under the bed with Peter. And now the creature is on top. And we start hearing this thing talking to him. It says, when you were born, they were happy. When I was born, they screamed. They put me in a cage with you in a warm bed. I had to live with the rats and the cobwebs, learning how to climb, fight, learning how to make you do what I want. Trick or treat, Peter. And there's a jack-o'-lantern place with the head in the jack-o'-lantern.
Your voice is pretty good.
Oh yeah, sorry, I just like that kind of just took me over. So anyway, like I said, trick or treat, get the head in the jack-o'-lantern. And right now, still so much going on. The teacher all of a sudden walks in. Now Miss Devine is in the house. She's looking around, and we see the hair behind her, and all of a sudden she gets her leg scratched. She falls on the ground. We see one of the other kids just like, dude, his body is cut in half. This dude is cut completely in half. And we hear now, Miss Devine, run. Like Peter is in the walls now, screaming, run. And then we see a creepy spider shadow following her. She runs upstairs. She sees in Peter's room the hole in the wall. So she grabs like the fire poker thing. She starts smacking, hacking at the wall. They pull Peter out. They're running for their life. Miss Devine gets outside. Right as Peter gets outside, he is grabbed back, pulled into the house. He ends up in the pit that one of you two talked about earlier with the teddy bear. And he's looking at like the teddy bear, and it says Sarah on it. We find out his like sister's name is Sarah. And then all of a sudden, Sarah, I guess we'll call her, is face to face with him, saying how she was born this way and some really creepy talk. Miss Devine ends up running into this room. Sarah leaves the pit to go approach Miss Devine. Luckily, her hair is 67.5 feet long, and the hair is still falling in the pit. So Peter grabs the hair and starts pulling. And then he climbs out by using his sister's hair.
Yeah.
By her hair.
Rapunzel, lay her hair down.
And then we get a badass like tug of war scene. So now there's literally a tug of war. He's pulling her with the hair. And luckily, Miss Devine now gets like the fire poker, and she just smashes the absolute shit out of Sarah and throws her back in the pit. They close the trapdoor, lock it up. And then we hear the creepy commentary where, you think this will keep me down here? every single shadow, every single creak for the rest of your life, every single bump, every single shadow, you will think of me because we are family, Peter. And then boom, the end. It's over.
We
End the
are
movie.
family,
Boom.
Peter.
End the movie. It's over. There we go.
This was awesome. Honestly, I loved everything. Like, well, the beginning it pulled me in. I wasn't a huge fan of I'm not a huge fan of slow burners at all. But this movie kept me going, and then when shit really did hit the fan, it hit the fucking. I had no idea. I don't think anybody going into this would expect a spider fucking woman living in the wall, Spider Sisters.
Except
All
for
right,
Peter Parker.
Right.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Is this a Dark Spider-Man? Is this a DC movie? Like,
Right. In the Spider-Verse, this took a dark turn.
Oh my god, dude! Just the gore, oh my god, that hair, the smile, oh,
Let's
incredible creep
go.
factor.
Yes.
I'm gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give it an 8.3 out of 10, and that is basically because I loved the creep factor in this movie, and not knowing what the hell's going on. I love that it kept me in to where I didn't even know until it finally wanted me to know. And not many movies do that.
Let's go. Sean, you want to talk about it next?
I've got a little bit because I've got notes on the set of scenes you covered and then the movie as a whole. So bear with me, all right?
Okay, we'll bear with you.
All right. The dad realizing the soup smells like cinnamon is a great tie-in to the rat poison scene from earlier in the movie. And then I got this so much puke. I love it. It's like the trick-or-treat scene all over again. The mom chase scene was very intense with her last dying breath being "Don't let her out." Maybe she killed the girl. Maybe the dad is unhinged because the mom's really the psycho. I was like, I'm still incredibly confused, but I'm very, very intrigued by what happens next. And it was like, there's such a big clock for such a small door. Honestly, when the mom came out of that door earlier, I felt like the door was almost regular sized, but now it's like Alice in Wonderland sized. It's very, very small. I'm like, these parents are clearly all fucked up from having to hide this full grown woman in their walls. And then the bully's brother's showing up to trash the house. Like, I get it. You're bad. Like, you want payback for him just breaking your little brother's legs. But what the fuck is Brian going to do there? He's 8 years old and on crutches. I guess he's just there to watch. I go, I bet you his safe word's pumpkin. The sister reveal. Holy shit. This thing is a hairy demon spider woman crawling on the walls. The kill where she dragged him underneath the piano, beautiful with like the blood spurt coming out. The door slowly opening to seeing the dead mom in the wall, leading up to the rabbit mask kill. That was a great build up of tension. I also have I bet the hair with the spiders is freaking Justin out right now.
Yeah,
I bet you would just sit there on edge.
I did not like that at all. Oh,
and
so
then,
creepy.
What is it? Boy number 3 getting it on the stairs was a great jump scare. And I wasn't expecting any jump scares in this movie. Talk about revenge, though. The sister locking him up in the cage. And the whole Miss Divine scene between them two was great. But I have one major question with the end of the scenes. How the fuck did Miss Divine not call the cops yet? She goes outside of the house. The sister puts Peter in the basement, locks him in the cage. Miss Divine then breaks back in. This is plenty of fucking time for her to call the cops. How I don't know. But them locking her
she's
back
a really
in the
good
cage,
substitute.
them locking her back in the cage at the end, I thought was a great way to end the movie, but I wanted more. I don't know if that makes sense. And then I've got this movie feels very gothic horror. It's got a very fall feeling. Like this would have been great for Halloween instead of There's Someone in Your House. It's a very, very slow burn.
Almost text you that.
Yeah, I get very mixed vibes, almost of like a Coraline and like meets the Let Me In. I don't know if you guys have seen both those movies.
I had that. I literally said to Justin, I said, this movie reminds me of the movie Coraline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the way the parents act.
Exactly. Oh, gosh.
Justin
never seen it.
I was like, the mom and dad do an incredible job of acting creepy, controlling, nice, strangely friendly, and very good at being unhinged all at the same time. Well, presenting a threat, but also presenting as unthreatening. The end of the movie, I do feel like I said, I feel like it felt short. I did like it. However, there's so much left unexplained. How does the wall expand in the beginning? I can't get over this, guys. How does the rug spin? Is it supernatural? Does she have these powers? Does she do it? Do the spiders do it? And then how are you going to explain 6 dead bodies to the cops? There's nothing that ties anything up. Does Miss Divine adopt Peter? Do they kill the sister? Does she break out? Like, what the fuck happens? I do love a slow. I do love the
Find
slow
out
burn
next
vibes
time.
and the acting. But the sister going from sweet to demon real fast was nice. I did appreciate that. Overall, I wanted to give this movie like a 6.5 or a 5 out of 10. It has the bones to be amazing, and I just feel like it's missing something. I hate to be that person that says, maybe less is more. I wish I didn't see her face. I thought maybe just seeing the hair and stuff would have just done it for me. My heart, like I said, says 6, like a 5 or a 5.6 out of 10, but I did wrap it up and I gave it a 7.6 out of 10. And it's got great Halloween vibes. I would recommend this to someone looking for something to watch during Halloween, but I personally wouldn't seek it out again. But I would watch it if it was on TV.
All right. So what do we got? An 8? What did Waterboy give it?
8.3.
8.3. And would you give it a 7.6?
My heart said a 5 or a 5.6, but after watching it with notes and paying attention, I liked it a lot more, and I gave it a 7.6.
All right. Yeah, that was a lot. All right, so yeah, I'll just give I won't talk about the last scenes. I'll just give my thoughts on the movie. All right, so I thought this movie was an incredible slow build. Like the build was so good. I thought the director did such a good job on making you just not have any clue what's going on. Like, so good. There was some generally really creepy movies, and overall, I think the good in this movie really outweighed the bad. But oh man, like the close-up reveal of her face, like I did not like at all. Like it looked so stupid to me. I wish
did it or did it not look like a Cheshire cat?
It looked like a Cheshire. They needed like, dude, just leave it with the hair. So during the set of scenes when those 4 things with mask or the cousins and everything was in there, I had heart palpitations. I liked it so much. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do this. They're gonna stick this landing. Like I literally was like, my heart was fluttering. I'm like, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my whole entire life. But like the slaughtering was so good, but just I don't know, that CGI face, like it really took me out of it. Like I hated it so much. The actual very last, like it just looked so dumb. And then all of a sudden it just ended so fast. Like I needed more. I needed a little more. Like give me 4 minutes more. Just a few minutes more. Show me after.
Even something like her unlocking the latch with her hands.
Just something. Give me a tease at something, or just give me something up. Just leave me with some questions. Guess what? I do love some stuff is better explained. Like obviously, like wait, so like she was a person born with like deformities. Like who killed? Like so the parents killed like that girl. Like I like some stuff not being explained. Like was she supernatural or not? Like guess what? I love like the not explaining things, but just tie like I don't know. You should have given me 4 more minutes. Tie something up. Overall, all right. So I rated this a 7.2. And honestly, I wanted, dude, I times like I said, when slow build movies like the slow burn, when it pays off, I love them so much. And I honestly thought like at point I was gonna give this like an 8.5. I was like thought I was gonna love it. Just that ending felt a little rushed. It like fell apart really bad. So do you guys remember? Let's talk about football real fast. I'm sorry if anyone doesn't like football, but there's a great. Let's go back to 2008 real fast. There was this guy Deshaun Jackson, a great wide receiver, right? Incredible play. This dude, they threw a 60-yard
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They threw a 60-yard bomb to this guy, right? He's running, he's catching, it's looking so good. The crowd is going incredible, like amazing. This dude's running it into the end zone. Right before he got into the end zone, he like showed off and he threw the ball backwards. Like he thought he was across the line. Like he fumbled this going across the goal line. This movie kind of reminds me, wow, I was like, what is even happening? This reminds me of that. Like, it was going so good. Like, oh my God, the crowd's going wild. It's incredible. Like, look at this guy running. And at the very end, this movie it fell out short. Like, that
fumbles
short. It fumbled it right at the goal line. So
how is that impossible, dude?
This movie reminds me of that football play. Overall, still the good outweighs the bad, but the 7.2, I wanted to give this an 8.5 so bad. And the last thing I'll say is my Halloween tie-in. We got Joel Doherty. He is on the sound department, folks, and he did the sound department of this movie, and he was also the supervisor, re-recording, mixer of 2018's Halloween. Let's go.
Oh yeah. And can I just
One of the
give
best Halloweens to ever fucking come out, in my opinion.
Really
Halloween
good.
2018 was so good.
So good.
can I just tell you guys one awesome little fact here?
Yeah.
That fucking bully was Gary Busey's son, and it was his first movie.
Yeah, I seen that. I was trying to come up with fun facts, and I saw that.
I skipped over that. I meant to write that down. I mean, I meant to say that.
Hilarious.
And Seth Rogen produced this. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like some comedian
Wild.
people, like him and a few of his other partners, like in the comedy crew, like gonna laugh.
All right, so guys,
Sorry.
just real quick, I was just thinking about this.
Great.
Talk about neighbors.
Oh.
When we were all talking about like how dissatisfying this ending really was. Now, Justin, you said give me 4 more minutes, bro. You could give me 30 seconds, and it would feel so much better. You could lock her in that cage and get that exact dialogue that she gave us. And like you said, Waterboy, you lock her in the cage. You see the ambulance and all that shit show up at the end, very cliche. And you see her reach up and unlock the cage. But then it cuts to him sitting in the back of the ambulance being like cuddled or like comforted by Miss Divine as she's like giving that whole speech. Like every creak you hear, it's going to be me. And then while she's sitting there, we can like see everything. He's sitting on the back of the ambulance. And then you just hear a cop go, "There's no one in the cage." And then you get end credits.
Yeah. Perfect. There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like
that
I
explains,
said,
like they called the cops, the bodies are good, mom and dad are good, they got some explaining to do, and it sets it up for a sequel.
And then two things like with the face part. Yeah, I was not a fan. I'm not a huge fan of CGI, and especially when you do bad CGI. And that in
the shadow scene.
Yeah, I would have been fine with either just not seeing the face at all and having like the hair in front of it, like a Samara type of, or
so creepy. It looked so creepy before you saw the face.
Or at least have a practical like fucking, instead of CGI.
Just keep it the way you did it, dude, because you did it so great through the whole movie. Where you just see, just her eye, just her hand. Let us build this face in our heads. Don't give us that creepy Cheshire cat fucking smile CGI bullshit.
I was so upset. I was like genuinely upset because, like I said, I don't want to shit in this movie. Like I think the guy did such a good job of so much of this, and then it's just like that very ending. I was just like right away. It was just like, holy crap! Like when it
felt like he was giving us the movie we're talking about that we wanted, but maybe he was like, I have to show the face. Like it felt like he had to show it. He had to do this, but no, dude, you didn't.
And it just sucked because, like I said, it was going so good. I'm like, oh my god, they're sticking this ending, and then all of a sudden, like you see the face, and then all of a sudden it was like boom in the cage, and then the movie just ended, and I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that is it, fellas. Like, share, subscribe, guys. If you could leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, anything like that, dude, to help us grow the show. This is the first time I think I'm ever asking for that. We're starting to get our likes up, our watch times going up. YouTube subscribers is starting to go up. We crushed our October goal of 400 subscribers. We're on our way to 500. We can't thank you enough. There's a lot of interaction. A lot of people like, share, and do all that on X. Instagram, we get random blow ups on videos. We are incredibly grateful for that. The Facebook group, slowly growing. We love it. We're pushing 800 people on that. The missus just made us a website, guys. It's hack/horrorpodcast.com. There you can go on. We're going to slowly grow it, but you can get yourself a hoodie. You can get yourself a t-shirt. Justin, your t-shirt's downstairs. I'll have a few on Monday. You can find all our links to everything we're on, Apple Pod, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Come hang out with us, guys. We fucking love it. We're excited to do this every weekend. We can't get enough of it. Shout out to our consistent followers, my cousin Andy, Waterboy's best friend, Shining Friday, Justin, Miss Wine Lover, crushing it, helping us out on TikTok.
Hey.
You know what I mean? The missus making us the website, the t-shirts. It feels good knowing that like our slow growth is getting to a point where like I didn't ever think we were going to get past 100 subscribers, and now we're pushing 5.
Crazy.
Let's go.
Fucking great, guys. Next weekend. Woo! You guys ready for next weekend?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be Thanksgiving, hack stab slash, and we are gonna go see Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, and we're gonna do a spoiler-filled recap, guys. This might be everywhere and just all over the map because we're gonna go watch it in movie theaters and then record it from memory. So
straight
bear
from
with
Dome.
us.
It's gonna
Let's
be
have some fun. It's gonna be
this.
more of a discussion pod than a movie recap.
Yeah, exact scene by scene. Yeah.
Yeah. So come
Pretty
have
awesome.
some fun with us and let's carve up that turkey.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
I'm
do it.
Hacky. That's Stabby. My
Just
man's.
Justin.
Hell yeah. We out.
Later,
Peace.
boat.